Welcome to Teen ypww Lesson 13. I do not own the rights to this music. Today's topic is Moving Forward by Faith. The lesson text is coming out of Joshua chapter 6. The memory verse, I will read the King James Version first and then the New International Version of Joshua chapter 6 verse 16. And it came to pass at the seventh time, when the priests blew with the trumpets, Joshua said unto the people, Shout, for the Lord hath given you the city. The New International Version of Joshua chapter 6 verse 16. The seventh time around, when the priest sounded the trumpet blast, Joshua commanded the army, Shout, for the Lord has given you the city. The key for today's lesson: tumbling walls and great falls. The focus for today's lesson: preparation for the promised land. Cheer teams around the world have a victory cheer. Celebrating the victory of a team is exciting. The classical musical selection, Pomp and Circumstance, is one of the most popular songs in America. You can find this song on YouTube. Most American schools use this song for the senior class to enter their formal graduation ceremony. It has no words, only music. However, when this song starts, everyone familiar with American customs knows what it means. It means achievement, completion, and victory. When it's played at a graduating ceremony, you may observe some parents crying. The success of a nation is founded upon the Word of God. Likewise, the success of our lives must be founded upon the Word of God. Psalms chapter 33 verses 11 through 12 says, The counsel of the Lord standeth forever, the thoughts of his heart to all generations. Blessed is the nation whose God is the Lord, and the people whom he hath chosen for his own inheritance. Our lesson today reviews a victorious occasion for the nation of Israel. It is like graduation day, celebrating the journey from the wilderness to the promised land. Yay, team! Yay, team! Children of Israel, today we win. The story of the walls of Jericho falling down, recorded in Joshua chapter 6 verses 1 through 27, vividly demonstrates the miraculous power of God. But more than that, the utter destruction of Jericho teaches us several important truths regarding God's grace and our salvation. The people of Israel had just crossed over the Jordan River into the land of Canaan. Their challenge was to take the land of Canaan, the promised land. However, their first obstacle was the city of Jericho, an unconquerable walled city. The location of Jericho was an important factor. It dominated the lower valley and all routes into the hill country. Therefore, its capture was critical for the Israelites to have unthreatened access to the promised land. In ancient warfare, such cities were either taken by assault or surrounded, and the people were starved into submission. Its invaders might try to weaken the stone walls with fire or by tunneling, or they might simply heap up a mountain of earth to serve as a ramp. Each of these methods of assault took weeks or months, and the attacking force suffered heavy losses. However, the strategy to conquer the city of Jericho was different. First, the strategy was laid out by God himself. And secondly, the strategy was seemingly a plan that would not be successful. God simply told Joshua to have the people to march silently around Jericho for 6 days, and then after 7 circuits on the 7th day, to shout. The people followed Joshua's directives explicitly, and the walls of Jericho fell flat. Joshua and the Israelites went in straight away and took over the city. Joshua knew that success was a gift from God, not necessarily a product of knowledge. He knew that the finest warriors with superior skills, empowered by God, will always win. The conquest of Jericho was a battle, initiated by God's command. The Israelites were led by priests carrying the Ark of the Covenant and marching around the city. Then they sounded the trumpets and cheered. These collective 3 acts, paired with God's divine intervention, summarizes this event. In addition, the conquest of Jericho was also a psychological war, as it was a physical effort on the part of the Israelites. For 6 consecutive days, Jericho was circled in silence without attack. They were commanded not to shout or make any noise and to say nothing until Joshua gave them directives. It is also important to mention that Rahab helped Israel by hiding spies in her home. She was rewarded by being spared from the destruction of Jericho. Lastly, we learned that faith without works is dead. We should do exactly what God says and keep His commandments. Joshua and the Israelites carried out the commands of God and won the victory over their enemy. It is the same for us today. Through our faith, we are compelled to obey God. Then we can expect God to give us victory over the enemies we face throughout our lives. When we are faced with seemingly insurmountable odds, we must learn that our Jericho victories are won when our faithful obedience to God is complete. While God uses the knowledge we have acquired, His greater concern is that we follow His directives. There is a vast difference between God's way and the way of man. Although their faith had frequently failed in the past, in this instance, the children of Israel believed and trusted God and His promises. As they were saved by faith, so we are today saved by faith. Our faith must be evidenced by obedience. The questions for today's lesson. Number 1, what have you observed about the leadership style of Joshua? And what made him a great leader? Number 2, what type of shouts and cheers do you think the Israelites chanted? Create a cheer for this event and share it with the class. The end. God bless you and thank you for joining me today.